Hey everyone, welcome back to the 5th episode of SRS Guardian in Solo Self-Found. I take on the Feared, get incredibly tanky, and I can't wait to show you the progress. Let's dive in. The first drop of the day is this bone ring from Delve. I craft life on it, use a blessed orb, and I'm happy with this. Then I open up Craft of Exile to figure out which fossil combinations can give me a plus minion skill and some minion damage. There is a whole list. First I'm trying Corroded, Metallic and Shuddering on a 3-slot resonator, and the result is this. That's pretty good. However, these are 3 suffixes, meaning I can't use it until I fix that. I need an open suffix for the trigger craft. I will get back to fossils soon. I try a Maven boss rushing strategy that once was recommended to me, where you run only silo, kill the 3 extra bosses that spawn, portal out, and then run the map again. As long as you don't kill the map boss Maven keeps witnessing, you can run this over and over again. But I'm not convinced at all that this is a good strategy. I hardly get any maps to drop. I find the vaults of Atziri, run it, and this means that I have now 115 out of 115 map completion. As a reward, I treat myself the Kirax Battle Pass. I open all the boxes, including the MTX boxes. The aura effect, for example, is quite nice. I dress up as the Maven, because of course I do, meaning I am now floating. And I even create a new MTX by combining these two. I didn't know this was a thing. Now I am all pimped out, let's continue. I keep tree crafting, fishing for good unique jewelry. I get a few interesting Foulborn uniques, for example this double fouled green dream. I will definitely mess around with these once I'm done on SRS Guardian. I decide to get a few more body armors, and a few of these do turn out very well, but I'm not pulling the trigger yet on any of them. Back to the mines, where I'm stocking up on currency in underground cities, get more pieces with +1 Spectre on it, get a Gemcutter's Mercy, and then it's time for more blueprints. I'm not looking for anything in particular, I just like doing heists. Here is a room with the new gold rewards. It is about 20,000 gold. I guess that's not bad. I quite like this unique, the Iron Mass. I've never seen this before, but it's very cool. Heist is great for quality gems, which you can turn into Gemcutter's prisms, or just prime currency like this Exalted Orb. I have found Eagon and started his questline. Here is Mini Cirrus. Ritual gives a Shuddering Fossil. Those are quite rare, I believe. Here's the damage on the Incarnation of Neglect, who goes down in just a few seconds, really. My single target DPS is still great for this type of content. I melt the Cardinal of Fear, and the Incarnation of Fear doesn't last all that much longer. From a fortress, I drop a Foulborn Skin of the Lords with 30% quality. Another item to think about. After completing and escaping this thing, the rewards keep ramping up. I encounter Eagon once more. I leveled up to level 98 at this point. I'm taking some life nodes, give birth to some more jewelry and other items. It's a whole inventory of goodies. And after completing the next memory strand of maps, it's the Incarnation of Dread. Also quite an easy fight with this much damage. After defeating him, I have now completed the Eagon questline. It's time for some more fossil crafting. I go to Craft of Exile, pick the weapon type and set the resonator, click which modifiers I would like to see, +1 minion and +1 all spells, and have the website calculate which fossil combinations I could use to achieve this. The best option would be Corroded, Jagged, Metallic and a Shuddering fossil, giving you a 1 in 12 chance to get this craft. Which isn't terrible odds unless you play SSF and you can't find that many Shuddering fossils. Still, I'll give it a go, literally 1, because I have 1 Shuddering. And here goes nothing, like literally nothing. I decide to tone it down a bit. After all, I don't even have a +1 wand or shield. A simple +1 would already be a big upgrade compared to my current outfit, so there's no need to be greedy. So instead of being greedy, I picked a +1 and minion cast speed. I use a 2-slot resonator with the fossils, and the first attempt, nothing. The second attempt, it's not bad, but it's not an upgrade. The third attempt, nothing. These tries are also fairly high, right? It's like a 1 in 90 chance, but I have had worse odds, and I have many fossils, so I will just roll some recommended combinations. And there we go. This is just beautiful. It's got an open suffix too, so I can craft the trigger, which I will do first. Then I socket it, color it, slam it, but get nothing useful however. But in the end I'm very content with this wand. I decide to continue my lucky streak, but this time for a minion shield, which I also have lying around. Also there I don't have a +1 shield yet. The website calculates once more, I see what I have in store, and there you go. First try. This is an amazing shield. It's got an open prefix, so I craft 50% block on there to remain block capped. I level 6 raised Spectre gems in my offhand, use Val orbs on those, and one of them, finally, hits the +1, which means that if I slot in that gem, it is a level 25 raised Spectre gem, which is a breaking point, allowing me to summon 3 Spectres from just the gem alone, plus a 4th from the passive tree. I buy 6 SRS gems to level in the offhand, get another chieftain for now, meaning my Spectre army at this point is a host and a Carnage chieftain, a perfect primal thunderbird, and a perfect forest warrior. A ritual offers a divine, a nameless seer, a lightning coil. It is time to hand in some diff cards, including another Skin of the Lords, which comes with acrobatics. Lost goods never disappoints. I find Eagon after his questline is complete. Find out that high fortresses also spawn in tier 16.5 maps with decent rewards. I get a Leer cast from Ritual. I didn't have that one yet, so that goes onto the Animate Guardian. The Foulborn shield looks pretty juicy. It's time for more tree crafting. Maven witnesses the boss, and that boss leads me to the moment of reverence, where Maven can do another witness for the incarnation of dread. Similar to the previous Cirrus fight of last episode, it's not that hard. She doesn't seem to make copies of this guy, but just does her own abilities. But this witness is the last one I need for the Feared, however. Also, the boss drops an interesting amulet, which I would love to use if I can have enough resistances and attributes somehow. And then it is time for the Feared. I am prepared for the worst, honestly. And sure, I didn't put any mods on it, but look at the damage. These bosses are simply melting when my SRS gets some time with them. I'm also melting if the Shaper gets some uptime on me with his beams, but I quite easily navigate through the fight, and with only 2 deaths and a fight of about 1.5 minutes, I consider this a pretty big milestone. Not all builds will have such an easy time on the Feared. The +1 crafts definitely helped, of course, but the build remains very solid overall. I'm still farming Ritual for a few corpses, which just don't seem to show up. Mainly a Warlord and a hulking miscreation. The Nameless Seer offers the Monastery Bell, an interesting item, but more than that, I can scry burial chambers onto Jungle Valley. Ritual provides some omen of amelioration, which will help me level. I have a fractured Ghastly Eye Jewel and I spend a bunch of Harvest Juice on it, and I'm getting this. Add a Slam for a flat life and now we're talking. It's an amazing jewel and I'm replacing this crappy one. I drop 2 Divines from Lost Goods, find a Foulborn Dowdry's Scorn, apparently a great twink leveling item. I get a new ring with more resistances on it. My Jungle Valley map clear looks like this, and the scrying is already paying off because here is my first Doctor card. Maven witnesses the Cardinal of Fear. I trade in most of my quality gems for a load of Gemcutter's prisms, which I then spend on leveled SRS gems, making them 20/20. I save a few for Elva's double corrupts, corrupting a few as well, but I don't get lucky and I don't hit the level 21. Here is a perfect spider, which could be fun, and more fractured Ghastly Eye Jewels. I hit the tree again and it provides me with this armor piece. That is a lot of armor and energy shield after applying some currency. I will get back to this. In the meantime, more hives with another cool Thyworm. This whole thing is impacted by wisps as well. It's very colorful at least, and I'm not sure I would recommend running it like this, but still. Ylith does survive, barely. I make it out as well, and yes, it was all worth it, I would say. I get unlucky with the Granite Flask div cards, go back to that body armor, craft dexterity on it for now, slam a bad suffix on it, 6-link it using the bench, apply Eldritch Currency until I get the implicits I want, Fist Taken As and All Res, equip it, anoint Testudo for block chance on my amulet, realize I don't actually need that 30 dexterity on my body armor, so I craft physical damage reduction instead. I decide to take on a few other pieces now that I'm at it, so I slam these gloves, but I get nothing. I do get a better implicit with cold exposure. I also slam the bone ring and get nothing. And then I remember I found a +2 paladin crown, craft 69 life on there, get some eldritch implicits I like, fix a few resistances using Hordy crafting, and that concludes the crafting. Until the moment I get back to the tree, dropping more stuff, like this fractured topaz ring with crazy resistances. I use a few blessed orbs, craft life on it, slam it for yet again a useless mod, and then decide with all this crazy new gear to do a little respec. Because after all of these upgrades, I have 2500 energy shield, which right now is just my mana bar. However, by getting mind over matter, so damage is taken from your mana bar, it becomes part of my effective hit pool. To ensure the energy shield recharges though, I take Wicked Ward, forcing energy shield recharge after taking damage and not interrupting it, and I constantly take damage, so that should work out. I take out some minion damage to path to more life nodes, granting me 4,400 life. I put the character in path of building at this point, and I'm having around 160,000 effective hit pool without flasks up. Rather than numbers, I care about how it plays, so here you see a tier 16 map. It may be not too easy to see, but the character all of a sudden is ridiculously tanky. And you can tell this also by the experience bar. I'm actually close to reaching level 99. I find Eagon once more. Here is a bit of single target damage with melee splash, so effectively on a 5-link. I complete a grueling game grind, I didn't even check up front, I level up to level 99 and decide to take Divine Shield for even more energy shield regeneration. I mitigate a lot of physical damage as I have so much armor, so I think this keystone is actually amazing, and after taking it again the build feels even tankier. I'm not done with the tree yet, and it again comes to the rescue, this time with a Rumi's concoction. I make it 20% quality, automate it, after some testing realize I primarily need spell block, so I can remove a few passive tree points, meaning that I use a divine on it with a near perfect outcome, and that means I can also remove the shield mastery that gives attack block. With the points that I just gained, I pass to the armor energy shield cluster, and I take 100% increased armor and energy shield on a body armor if all of your pieces have armor and energy shield, which they do. This results in 3700 plus energy shield, while still being block capped with the Rumis, and close to being block capped without the Rumis, as I am 72 and 71 without. I get another glove upgrade, I benchcraft armor energy shield on there, slam another tier 1 energy shield mod, quality it, get implicit. I even take suppression because why not, plus max cold, fix some more resistances with Hordy crafting, raise my specters from the ground, and here is the build in action. It's pretty close to being immortal in tier 16, unless you hit a bunch of ground dots or something, or a shaper beam I guess, but that's already tier 16 and a half. I find Eagon once again, do another attempt at getting a 2120 SRS gem, but the best I'm getting so far is 2023. None of the other gems hit either, except for a 2022 flash offering. I decided to try my luck with minion damage support instead. The tree gives me more fun goodies, like the Red Dream, an Asenat's Gentle Touch, which I give to the SSF Guardian. That means entire screens will be blown up with map clearing. I sneak another boots upgrade in there, just look at this, it's complete insanity. I make it 20% quality, craft on life, 33% armor implicit, 5% action speed, it's a great piece. Here's the build in action, you can see the explosions from Asenath, it's quite nice. I craft another Ghastly Eye Jewel on a fractured base, may even witness the Courtyard of Wasting. This is the last one I need for the invitation. I then take on that invitation, and I'm sure you can imagine at this point that this isn't much of a challenge anymore. I do take a bit of damage, sure, but it's manageable. This means I now complete the entire Atlas, 132 points, plus I get another Vogue gem. I decided to test the build on a few more bosses that I killed before. Here is Maven single target damage. I want her boots, but I get the belt and awakened void manipulation. The second attempt, again, the belt, for some reason, and no Vogue gems. The third time is the charm though, right? And in fact it is, plus Vogue melee splash, which I already have. Legacy of Fury, that's another great piece for the animated Guardian, scorching nearby enemies, so I drop it and I have him equipped that. For no real reason, I take on a few more bosses. Here is Cirrus damage and my tankiness. I can just face tank everything, except the storm I guess. The incarnation of Dread remains quite easy, but now even easier. And here is my awakened controlled destruction, reaching level 5. Guys, I'm happy to report that this time is actually the first time I'm caught up with the episodes compared to where I am currently at in the game. So that means I can share the path of building with you. You've been asking for it. Also, I will try to take this build to the Uber content, which means more farming for me, at least fragments. And I think I will also try to reach level 100. I have been getting some questions also about cluster gems and why I'm not running them. Quite simply, I don't feel I need them. You can tell from the footage, the minions are not dying. They're doing a lot of damage. I quite like how the build currently plays, and I wouldn't want to remove either Eldritch Battery or Divine Shield because the tankiness is such high quality of life. And I'm not even running endurance charges yet. Maybe I'll take cluster jewels after reaching level 100 and then just focus more on damage because at that point I don't really care about survivability too much. But right now I think the build works very well without cluster jewels. Next episode, hopefully I'll be doing Uber bosses, so subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Like and share the video, that really helps a lot. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. Love you all, see you soon, bye bye.